Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today it's been a while for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning Historical Challenge. We're getting close, folks. We are getting pretty close to the end of the last season for this challenge. Today is going to be the month of March. Looks like it's going to be a pretty busy month, so we're going to have a whole lot of games going on here. Also, looks like we're going to have a pretty long homestead during that month, like in the middle there. So that's going to also happen. We are at the top of the Eastern Conference. But as we said at the end of the last video, we are, despite losing only one game in the entire month of February, still pretty close to the Ottawa Senators and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So there's not a whole lot of separation there. Um, on the injury front, we only have Vyacheslav Kozlov that's day to day, so that's not too terrible. Keith Kitchuk finally came back, and we are glad to have him back. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to bring up. The trade deadline is only in a few days, but there's not a whole lot on the trading block. Plus, I have mentioned it quite a few times. I really don't have anything left to trade. Alright, so without further ado, let's get going with March of 2001. It starts today in Boston against the Bruins. Bruins are not doing too good this season. They are 20, 36, and 7. That's good for 12th in the East. We are 2-0 and 1 against the Bruins this season. Right, so Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for us. He has 5 fires to his name. Jean-Marc Pelletier is going to be in net for Boston. He also has 5 fires to his name. And of course, it is the start of the month, so we need to say a pretty hearty "Go Lightning, go!" See, I even changed my voice for that. Alright, so let's get going, see if we can win on the road here to start the month. And it starts with a pretty convincing 5-1 win here against the Bruins. We completely outshot them 67-23. Sergei Gonchar was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Marcus Naslund was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Matt Sundin was the third star with 2 assists. We had Sergei Gonchar open up the scoring in the first 26 seconds in from Matt Sundin and Rob Blake. Then Martin Streka, Martin Streka scored on the power play from Sergei Gonchar and Marcus Naslund. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay at that point. Then the Bruins scored, made it 2-1, and then Marcus Naslund scored from Sergei Gonchar and Bill Guerin. It was 3-1 Tampa Bay after 1. In the second period, we added one more goal. It was Brian Rafalski from Ryan Smith and Matt Sundin, made it 4-1 Tampa Bay. And we went into the third period up 3 goals, and we added one more. Alex Tanguay scored from Marcus Naslund, 5-1 Tampa Bay, and that was the final score. So, really good game here to start the month of March. Great night for Joey Junot, now playing for the Wild. He had a hat trick against the Flames. Pita Bundra with the Capitals is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. And William Davidson is satisfied with my work, including yesterday. We went 11 and 1 in the last month. All right. Andrew Castles has a great game. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Devils. Brian Muir with Vancouver is suspended. He's going to miss 2 games. Alright. And now we are in Uniondale to play against the Islanders. Islanders are 33-24 and 7. That's good for 5th in the East. We are 2 and 1 against the Islanders this season. Now let's see here. We're going to go with Johan Edberg for that game. They are going to go with Fred Brathwaite. And it is a 2-0 win, so shout out for Johan Edberg, the Moose. We outshot the Islanders 35-23. Alex Tanguay was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. I think it's Martin Ludeman was the second star with no points, and Marcus Neslin was the third star with a goal. Right, so nobody scored in the first. Then in the second period, Marcus Neslin scored from Martin Straka and Alex Tanguay. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third period, 18 seconds into the third, Alex Tanguay scored on the power play from Teppo Numinen and Vili Peltonen. It was 2-0, and that score held all the way through. That was a 2-0 win. Alright. Suspension over for Peter Bundle back in the lineup, and the trade deadline is nearing. Usually that means there's 5 days left. Alright, and second game in 2 nights here. We're going to play in New Jersey against the Devils. Devils are 29-30-5. That is good for 7th in the East. We are 2-0 against the Devils this season. We're going to go back to Johan Edberg. He had a shutout yesterday. Martin Brodeur is going to be in net for the Devils. And we won 1-0, 2 shutouts in 2 nights for the Moose. Talk about being effective here. So we outshot the Devils 38-23. Martin Straka was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Martin Brodeur was the second star despite the loss. He still made 37 saves. And Scott Niedermayer was the third star without any points. Nobody scored in the first period, and then the only goal of the game happened in the second period. It was a Vili Peltonen goal from Martin Straka. 1-0 Tampa Bay, and of course that was the only scoring in this game. So low scoring affairs, but we are winning. Oh, that's not good. Martin Straka is hurt. He's out for 3 weeks. Okay, that could have been worse. The playoffs are coming. That's usually where the game likes to infiltrate some of my orifices. To stay politically correct. So 3 weeks without Martin Straka. I'm gonna need to call up somebody. Aaron Ward is back from suspension in Dallas, back in the lineup over there. And Pavel Bure extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Ducks. The Mighty Ducks. Sorry, they're not the Ducks yet. Alright, Martin Straka needs to go to the injury list. Yeah, I think it's going to be Varnamov. Yeah, that's the thing. I have a really strong team, but I have no depth at all. at least not at forward. Alright. And now we are back from that road trip, and we're going to start that pretty long home stay. Oh, yeah, and then there's going to be 1 away game, and then a whole bunch of home games again. That's crazy. Right, Darren Van Imp is back from suspension in Philadelphia, back in the lineup over there. Vyacheslav Kozlov is ahead of schedule. That's good. Oh, there's been a trade between the Trashers and the Blue Jackets. Alright, so Kip Miller and Scott Steven. Wow. Kip Miller and Scott Steven, wow, are going to Columbus for Boyd Devereaux and Lucas Gerber. I think that Columbus got the upper hand. Well, Kip Miller is... Then Scott Stevens, wow, that's an interesting trade. That's actually a decent trade. Although I think Columbus got the upper hand there. Alright, San Jose is in town. San Jose is also really good. They are 43th, 18-4. We have not played them this season, so let's take a look at why they are so good. So Christer Olsen is hurt. He's not gonna play. Sorry about that. I figured out that when I record shortly after being done eating, my throat always seems to be acting up, so there must be something going on with that. But anyway, so the Sharks have Arthur Irby and Jocelyn Thibault in it, Paul Coffey on D, with Yevsafiev, Andy Delmore, Luke Richardson, Brad Lukowicz, Johansson as well. Up front, they have Peter Ferraro, Osa Crozier, Whitney Kuznetsov, Allison Datsuk, Perpich, Sullivan, Virta, Alfredson, Bilesma, Falloon, Aduk, and Miroslav Shanayade. They built through the draft. A lot of those are players that they probably drafted themselves and everything, and there's a lot of talent there. Except for Jason Allison, I traded Jason Allison to them. Right, so it's going to be a pretty tough game. Pretty good team there in San Jose. So we're back home. We had 2 shutouts in a row. Are we going to start Edberg again after 2 shutouts in a row? We sure are. So Johan Edberg, 2 shutouts in a row, going to face the San Jose Sharks. 3 shutouts in a row for the Moose. He is unstoppable. We won 7-0. And we dominated the game too. We outshot the Sharks 46-13. Keith Tkachuk was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Matt Sundin was the second star with 2 goals. Scott Young was the third star with a goal and an assist. 14,489 people in attendance for the game. So Scott Young scored the first goal of the game in the first from Vyacheslav Kozlov, then Michael Anzus from Ryan Smith and Brian Rafalski. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Matt Sundin scored twice. So the first one from Keith Tkachuk and Sergei Gonchar, and then the second one from Bill Guerin and Keith Tkachuk. 4-0 Tampa Bay after 2. And then we scored 3 more in the third period. Ryan Smith scored his 15th of the season from Teppo Numminen. Then Keith Tkachuk scored his first. Of course, he missed a lot of time due to injury. From Alex Tanguy and Boris Mironov. And then finally Rob Blake from Vyacheslav Kozlov and Scott Young. It was a 7-0 shellacking of the Sharks. Pavel Bure extends his goal streak to 6 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Montreal Canadiens. And Brian Muir is back from suspension in Vancouver. Oh, lots of people on waivers. So we have Nicholas Falk, we have Keith Jones, we have Mark Chouinard, we have Sandy McCarty, and Dean Sylvester. Andrew Castles has another strong game. He had one not too long ago. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Blue Jackets. And Vyacheslav Kozlov is feeling better. And we are about to play the Carolina Hurricanes with Castles with his good game that he just had yesterday. So Hurricanes are 26, 34, and 6. That's good for 11th in the East. We are 3-0-1 against the Hurricanes this season. We're still going with Johan Edberg. Why not? 3 shutouts in a row, right? So Konstantin Simchuk is going to be the goaltender for the Hurricanes. And we managed to lose a game, so Johan Edberg is not invincible after all. We lost 3-2 in overtime. We did outshoot the Hurricanes 42-24. Oleg Tverdovsky was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Mikael Nylander was the second star with 2 assists. And Simchuk was the third star with 40 saves. 14,594 people totally expected a 4th shutout in a row and got a little disappointed. So we opened up the scoring in the first. It was Markus Naslund from Mikael Nylander and Vili Peltonen. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then Carolina scored twice in the second period to take a 2-1 lead. Ryan Smith tied the game in the third period. That was a power play goal from Alex Tanguay and Mikael Nylander. It was tied at 2 heading into the overtime, but in overtime, Jeff Sanderson played the hero only 17 seconds into overtime, and it was a 3-2 loss. All right. Sergei Varlamov improves at center. And we have a couple days off, and we're going to be hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. Oh, we have quite a few trade proposals there. All right, so Vaclav Varada is suspended. He's going to miss 2 games. Memorable game for Petr Nedved. Into that same game, he had a hat trick against Phoenix. Vyacheslav Kozlov says, I am ready. So he is not hurt anymore. Right, so what do we have here? So you want to trade me Aaron McKenzie for Peter Shaslevy? Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. You want to trade me Alexander Zdan for Nicholas Hagman? I don't think so. To trade me Tim Conboy for Sergei Varlamov, and I am going to say no to that as well. All right. All right, so the trade deadline came and went, and there weren't any trades. We are about to play against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are 16-42-9. That is not very good. We managed to tie against them. The only game we played, it was a 0-0 game. So let's see if we can score some goals this time. Yevgeny Nabokov is going to be in net for the Blue Jackets. We are going back to Nikolai Abibulin. And it is a shutout. We won 3-0. Right, back to not allowing any goals. We outshot the the Blue Jackets 59-26. Nikolai Abibulin was the first star of the game with 26 saves and the shutout. Teppo Numminen was the second star with 2 assists. And Mikael Nylander was the third star with a goal and an assist. 15,968 people in attendance for the game. Right, so nobody scored in the first, and then in the second period, Ryan Smith scored from Vili Peltonen and Mikael Nylander. It was a 1-0 game after 2. Then we added 2 more goals in the third period. Mikael Nylander scored from Teppo Numminen and Vili Peltonen, and then Vyacheslav Kozlov from Teppo Numminen. 3-0 Tampa Bay, and of course that was the final score. So another shutout, so we're doing pretty decent so far. Bryce Salvador is back from suspension in Columbus, back in the lineup over there. Couple days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Edmonton Oilers. Alexei Yashin has a great game, playing for Dallas now, of course. Yashin, 3 goals and an assist against the Colorado Avalanche, so pretty good game indeed. Jaromir Jagr extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Rangers. Alright, so the Oilers are in town. They are 34-31-4. We have not played them this season. Let's take a look at their lineup there. Alright, so Al Gill is hurt. He's not going to play. Dave Manson is hurt. He's also not going to play. And I saw a couple guys hurt on the lineup itself. Scott Mellenby is hurt. He's not going to play. And Todd Bertuzzi is hurt. Also not going to play. Alright, so in net they have Dwayne Roloson and Jean-Sébastien Giguère. On D they have Sikora Witt, Levens, Asht. Sorry, some names I just struggle with. Willie Girard. And then up front, it's Baranek, Bertuzzi, Maltby, Moreau, Emerson, Tikkanen, Tucker, Wright, Comrie, Briere, Stefan, Buckberger, Mellenby, Cleary, and Smith. Alright, so they are going to go with Jean-Sébastien Giguère in net. We are going to go with Nikolai Bibulin. And it's another shutout. Wow. Can we keep those performances for the playoffs, please? Alright, so 4-0 win against the Oilers. We outshot them 41-14. Bill Guerin was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Teppo Numminen was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Marcus Naslund was the third star with 2 assists. 14,759 people in attendance for the game. Teppo Numminen opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal from Brian Rafalski and Marcus Naslund. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after one. We had a fight also in the first period. Keith Kitchuk and Brendan Witt went at it. Bill Guerin scored in the second period from Ryan Smith and Teppo Numminen, and then Michael Lanzo scored his 10th from Alex Tanguay and Marcus Naslund. It was 3-0 Tampa Bay after two. And we added one more goal. Nicholas Avlid scored his first from Matt Sundin and Bill Guerin. 4-0 is the final score today. We have not allowed a whole lot of goals this month. Oh, Rob Blake is day-to-day. Okay, day-to-day I can deal with. Suffered a minor forearm tendon laceration. Oh, dear God. Alright, and Vaclav Varada's suspension ends. So back in the lineup in Vancouver. Now, what do we... Alright, so you are a day-to-day. So Bouillon can play. So we're good. I don't need to change anything. So we have a quick day off. Then we're going to be hosting the Leafs. Joel Perpich was suspended in San Jose. He's going to miss one game. And Yevgeny Korolev in LA is back from suspension. Alright, Toronto, the Leafs are 34-27-10. That's good for 6th in the East. We are 1-0-2 against Toronto. So we had tied the first two games, I believe, and then I won the last one. Let's see if we can beat them again. Dan Cloutier is going to be in net for Toronto. Nikolai Bibulin is going to be in net for us. Both goaltenders have 5 fires to their name. And we won 5-3. What's wrong with my team? We allowed goals. That doesn't sound right. Alright, Tampa Bay outshot Toronto 38-26 in that particular game. Marcus Naslund, yet again, another good game. First star, a goal and 2 assists. Yannick Perrault was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Brian Rafalski was the third star with 2 assists. 14,197 people in attendance for the game. Peter Shaslivy opened up the scoring in the first period from Scott Young, and then Toronto tied the game. And then Bill Guerin scored his 30th from Marcus Naslund and Sergei Gonchar. It was 2-1 Tampa Bay, but Toronto would tie the game yet again. Before the end of the first, it was tied at 2 after 1. Then nobody scored in the second period, and in the third period, Bill Guerin scored again on the power play from Sergei Gonchar and Marcus Naslund. Then Ryan Smith from Alex Tanguay and Brian Rafalski. Marcus Naslund scored from Brian Rafalski and Michael Lanzus, made it 5-2. Then Nathan Dempsey scored for Toronto, made it 5-3, but that was their last goal. We won by 2, 5-3. Peter Shaslivy converts to center. Good. I believe that was his natural position. I believe. I could be wrong. Alright, so Straka is about to come back. Well, he has resumed skating, so he should be back in a couple weeks. Alright, Rob Blake is feeling better. That's good. And we are about to host the Pittsburgh Penguins. Alright, so Pittsburgh is 47-19-5. That's good for 3rd in the East. We are 2-0 against Pittsburgh this season. Alright, so the Penguins are going to go with Mike Rosati in net. We are going to go with Johan Edberg. And we won 3-1. That's pretty good because Pittsburgh is still a pretty good team, but in the 3 games that we played against them, we allowed only 1 goal in each of those games. So we've been playing them pretty good. Tampa Bay, 39 shots. Pittsburgh, 26. Boris Mironov was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Mario Lemieux was the second star with a goal, and Alex Tanguay was the third star with 2 assists. 16,157 people in attendance for the game. Matt Sundin opened up the scoring in the first from Rob Blake and Alex Tanguay. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Pittsburgh tied the game, but then Boris Mironov scored less than 2 minutes later. That was his 10th of the season from Alex Tanguay. It was 2-1 Tampa Bay after 2. And then in the third period, Marcus Naslund scored his 30th from Boris Mironov and Michael Anzus. 3-1 Tampa Bay, the final score. So we have 2 30-goal scorers right now. We have Marcus Naslund and Bill Guerin. Yaroslav Svechkowski in with the Islanders is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. The Blues coaching job in jeopardy. The Blues are 23-40-9, so Terry Murray might be losing his job soon. Looks like it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter which version of the game that I do videos for. Terry Murray always loses his job as a coach. He struggles with keeping employment. Fyodorov is hurt. He's gonna be gone for 4 weeks. That's gonna hurt the Red Wings a little bit. Joel Perpich is back from suspension. Brett Etiken is not suspended with the Rangers. And Rob Blake about to come back. So we have 3 days off, and then we're going to be playing a very rare away game for the month of March before coming back to the comfort of our own arena. Cool. Rob Blake is back. That's good news. That's what we want to see. Sean McEachern has a great game. He had 4 assists against Boston. Nice little game for the one that was a former Ottawa Senator in real life. Alright, so we are in Atlanta to play against the Thrashers. So it's a back-to-back against the Thrashers. So home and home, 2 games in 2 nights. So we play in Atlanta, and then tomorrow we are playing in Tampa Bay. Atlanta is 24-40-8. That's good for 13th in the East. We are 3-0 against the Thrashers this season. Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for us. He's going to face Roman Turek. And it is a 3-1 win. We outshot Atlanta 50-12. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game with a goal and an assist. Peter Puker was the second star with a goal, and Bill Guerin was the third star with a goal as well. Let's see. Bill Guerin opened up the scoring only 8 seconds into the game from Matt Sundin and Ryan Smith, and then Atlanta tied the game, so it was tied at 1 after 1. In the second period, Matt Sundin scored on the power play unassisted. That was a 2-1 lead for the Lightning after 2. Then in the third period, Michael Lanza scored from Alex Tanguay and Teppo Numminen. 3-1 victory for the Lightning. Bill Guerin is hurt. So we're down a 30-goal scorer, folks. How long is he hurt for? Oh, he's day-to-day. Oof. Alright, feels like we're playing with fire, right, with the injuries. It's like the game is like, yeah, I'm going to give you injuries, but just some day-to-day or short-term injuries just so that you feel comfortable, and then in April I'm going to screw you over, you motherfucker. I feel like that's what the game is doing. I feel like the game is going to take away most of my team right before the playoffs, because that seems to be a thing. Alright, so Bill Guerin is day-to-day, bruised hip. Big game for Robert Lang playing for the Sens. He had a hat-trick against the Coyotes. And Jeff Cowan, playing for the Rangers, got hurt while installing fixture at home. New York left wing and novice do-it-yourselfer Jeff Cowan will miss up to a week of action after suffering a thumb contusion while attempting to install a bathroom fixture. I think I've read that before. But yeah, so Jeff Cowan off ice injury, thumb contusion, out 1 to 2 weeks. It is what it is. At least it's not us. Right, so second game of the back-to-back against the Trashers. This time we are in Tampa Bay. Of course, now the Trashers are 24, 41, and 8. They are still 13th in the East, and we are now 4 0 against them this season. Let's see if we can keep that completely perfect. Ron Tugnut is going to be in net for the Trashers. We're going to go with Johan Edberg for that one. And it's another 3-1 win. All right, pretty good. We outshot the Trashers 40 to 24. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Recently acquired Boyd Devereaux for the Trashers was the second star with an assist, and Keith Kitchuk was the third star with an assist. 15,379 people in attendance for the game. Rob Blake scored the first goal of the game in the first period from Matt Sundin and Sergei Gonchar. Then Matt Sundin scored his 20th from Vyacheslav Kozlov and Teppo Numminen. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Matt Sundin scored again from Keith Kitchuk and Boris Mironov. It was 3-0 after 2. Then in the third period, the Trashers scored and prevented Johan Edberg from getting a shutout, and it was a 3-1 victory. Bob Belmore under fire. Alright, so Bob Belmore is the coach in Boston. Boston is really not very good this year. They are 24, 42, and 7, so that's another coaching job that's in jeopardy. Gary Galley got 500 assists in his career with an assist against the Calgary Flames. Gary Galley is 37 years old and he is still a 2-star player. Alright, there's 4 games left here in March. Next one is going to be at home. We're going to be hosting the Washington Capitals. Alright, so yeah, there's really 2 things that are a given whenever I do a series, you know, for franchise hockey manager. 1, the Capitals are going to suck, and 2, Terry Murray loses his job oftentimes multiple times during the entire playthrough. Alright, so Washington is in town. They are 24, 39, and 11. That's good for 12th in the East. We are 2-1 against the Caps. Now, they probably heard me say that they're terrible, so they're going to come and play very angry and probably win. So Andre Mazin is going to be in net for Washington. We're going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. And it's a tie. It's a 3-3 tie. Alright, we outshot Washington 36 to 27. Sergei Gonchar was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Peter Bundra was the second star with 2 goals. Mikael Nylander was the third star with 2 assists. 15,620 people in attendance for this game. Washington opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 Washington. Then they scored again in the second period. It was 2-0 after 2. Then we scored 3 unanswered goals in the third period. Vyacheslav Kozlov scored from Scott Young and Mikael Nylander. Then Sergei Gonchar scored his 10th from Rob Blake. Alex Tanguay scored his 15th on the power play from Sergei Gonchar and Mikael Nylander. But with 47 seconds left to go in the third period, Peter Bundra tied the game, brought it to overtime. Nobody scored in overtime. It was a 3-3 tie. Martin Stepanek is put on waivers by the Sharks. Brian Leach is day-to-day with the Rangers, so minor injury over there. And Doug Gilmour played in game 1250. Celebrated that with an assist. That was against the Flyers. Doug Gilmour is 37 years old and still a 3-star player. Alright, couple more days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Devils. Trevor Linden has reached 900 points in his career. got an assist against the Wild. Trevor Linden is 30, 3-star player still. Good game for Mark Rickey, still with the Flyers. He had a hat trick against the Suns. Alright, New Jersey's in town. They are now 32, 37, and 6. That's good for 9th in the East. We are 3-0 against the Devils this season, including a 1-0 win earlier this month. Martin Brodeur is going to be in net for the Devils. We are going to Johannesburg. And it is a 4-3 overtime win. So the Devils brought us to overtime, but we managed to win this game. We outshot them 49-29. Brian Rafalski was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Denis Gauthier was the second star with an assist. And Vili Peltonen was the third star with a goal and an assist. 14,551 people in attendance for the game. Devils scored twice in the first period, and it was a 2-0 New Jersey lead after one. Then we scored twice in the second. Vili Peltonen scored on the power play from Ryan Smith and Teppo Numminen, and then Ryan Smith on the power play as well from Brian Rafalski. It was 2-2 after 2. Then in the third period, we took our first lead of the game. Brian Rafalski scored from Marcus Naslund and Vili Peltonen. It was 3-2, but Alexander Goltz tied the game at 3. And that went in overtime. And in overtime, Mikael Nylander played the hero on the power play on a penalty from Scott Niedermayer, assisted by Ryan Smith. It was a 4-3 victory. Alright, Bill Guerin ahead of schedule. That's good. We can always use a 30-goal scorer. Right, Joe Sakic is out with a day-to-day injury, and he is going to be out around 6 days. Martin Straka getting closer to come back. That's also good for us. Alright, so we're going to end the month with 2 games in 2 nights. So first one at home against the Montreal Canadiens, and then tomorrow we'll be in Florida to play against the Panthers. So Montreal is in town. They are 27, 39, and 11. That is good for 11th in the East. We are 1-1-1 against Montreal this season. Manny Legacy is going to be in net for Montreal. We're going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. And it is a 2-0 victory for the Lightning. We outshot Montreal 39-19. Alex Tanguay was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Manny Legacy was the second star with 37 saves. And Sergei Gonchar was the third star with 2 assists. 15,209 people in attendance for the game. Rob Blake opened up the scoring in the first from Alex Tanguay and Sergei Gonchar. It was a 1-0 Tampa Bay lead at that point. Then in the second period, Matt Sundin scored from Sergei Gonchar and Alex Tanguay as well. 2-0 after 2, and that score would hold all the way through. So 2-0, the victory. Brian Marchment is suspended with the Nashville Predators. He's going to miss 1 game. Alex Kovalev extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against the Islanders. And suspension is over for Yaroslav Svechkowski, back in the lineup with the Islanders. And the last game of the month is going to be happening in Florida against the Panthers. They are 34, 36, and 7, and they are holding on to the 8th spot in the East. We are 4-0 against the Panthers this season. We have Nikolai Abibulin in net. They have Jose Theodore. And we won 4-1, so we end the month on a pretty good note. So we lost, 2 games this month? 1 game? 2 games? We didn't lose many. So Tampa Bay outshot Florida 44-29. Alex Tanguay was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Brian Rafalski was the second star with 3 assists, and Mikael Nylander was the third star with 2 assists. Alex Tanguay opened up the scoring in the first period. That was a power play goal from Brian Rafalski and Mikael Nylander. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Alex Tanguay scored again on the power play from Brian Rafalski and Mikael Nylander. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay at that point. And then in the third period, Alex Tanguay scored on the power play yet again to complete his hat trick. Now, you may or may not consider that a natural hat trick. He did score 1 goal in each period, and they are all power play goals too, so that's pretty impressive for that. And that one was assisted by Marcus Nesson and Brian Rafalski. It was 3-0 Tampa Bay at that point. Matt Sundin scored from Francis Bouillon and Teppo Numminen. 4-0 Tampa Bay. And with only 14 seconds left to go in the third period, Paul Kariya scored. And Nikolai Abibulin didn't get a shutout thanks to that. It is a 4-1 victory. Nice little win here. And no one could stop Alex Tanguay. We were there, we saw it, we loved it. At least I did. He had a hat trick, and then that's the scouting. Don't really care about that. And we're going to go ahead and sim one more day to bring us to April 1st. Alright, so Brian Marchment is back from suspension. Back with Nashville. Ville Nieminen is suspended with the Detroit Red Wings. He's going to miss 6 games. Jaromir Jagr is day-to-day. He's going to miss about a week. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Mario Lemieux. He had 4 assists against the Blues. Bill Guerin is almost back. Martin Straka is almost back. And the players of the month were Pierre Turgeon and Rastislav Stana. Alright. Oh yeah, Pierre Turgeon is having a really good season with the Islanders. Really good bounce back season. I mean, not that he had a terrible season last year. He was a point per game, but he's having a really solid season this season. Alright, so the month of March is over. So that means that the next video, regardless of what happens, unless I am mistaken, of course, should be the last one for this playthrough. Win or lose, I believe this is my last season for the challenge, so I will need to win the Stanley Cup or call this entire playthrough a failure. And nobody wants to fail. At least I don't. So, yeah, there's going to be 4 games, and then it's going to be the playoffs. So we are sitting atop the Eastern Conference with 118 points. Pittsburgh has 111, so they're only 7 points behind. That's not, that big of a lead. Then the Sens have kind of faltered a little bit this month, apparently. They are now 11 points behind. So if playoffs were starting today, we would be facing the Florida Panthers. But looks like we might be facing anybody between the Devils, Panthers, Flyers, and Leafs. So, and maybe the Hurricanes. But yeah, they have their work cut out for them. They do have more games left to play than anybody else. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. Alright, now in the West, Detroit is still first. San Jose is second. They have a pretty good team. As we saw, we did shellac them, but the team is pretty solid. Colorado, Dallas, LA, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary are the 8 teams. And yeah, I would say that more than likely that's gonna be the 8 teams that are going to be in the playoffs. The Nashville Predators have one little sliver of hope to be in the playoffs, but that's probably not going to happen. They would need to win their remaining 3 games. And have Calgary literally lose their last 4 for that to happen. It's possible. But yeah, that's gonna be tough for Nashville to make the playoffs. But not that far off. All right, now let's take a look at our stats. Alright, so yeah, the point per game pace has slowed down there, although Martin Straka is hurt, so we don't see his stats here. So 62 points in 71 games for Marcus Naslund. Sundin is 61 in 74. Guerin 59 in 74. Gonchar 56 in 78. 54 in 78 for Rafalski, and then, it goes down from there. And in the entire league, I see a lot of Pittsburgh Penguins jersey atop there. Actually, I see a lot of Mario Lemieux on the top row there. So Mario Lemieux is the best goal scorer with 53 goals. He is the best passer with 86 assists. He is the best scorer by far with 139 points. He has the most shots with 455, and he leads the plus-minus category with plus 60. So Mario Lemieux is the true MVP here. Let's be honest. All right, and for the goaltenders, is Abby Bullen still somewhere in here? Abby Bullen best save percentage. He has 9 shutouts. That's one less than Irbe, Defoe, and Aubin. And he has the most goals save above average at 25.59. So despite having only 2 stars to his name, Abby Bullen is being really good this season. Alright, so that's going to be it for today. I'm going to go ahead and save the game. And for what should be the second to last time, I want to thank you for tuning in. And we are almost at the end of this thing, so hopefully you're going to get to see the next video. Well, I would like to say soon, but the thing is, I'm about to go on vacation. I won't have the time to do another video before I leave. So it's going to be a little bit longer. I'm just here to create some more suspense. That's really all I'm doing. I planned everything. I didn't, but I like to say that I did. Alright, so yeah, I'm going on vacation soon. I'm going to put out a video for that. So there's not going to be any videos for a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and eventually finish this thing. But anyway, so if you've liked the video and you would like to help support me and my channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.